focus on the development of a endpoint monitoring and incident response solution, which is usually referred to as EDR. My presentation consists of 5 main parts: introduction, system design and development, main contributions, results, and conclusion and future works. To begin with, according to CrowdStrike, endpoint detection and response, or EDR, is a security solution that continuously monitors the servers and endpoint device to detect and respond to cyber threats. So, in the scope of my thesis, I'm going to develop a security solution that covers the key features of a real-world EDR system, including a monitoring application that I named the BKEDR Splunk, an EDR service including BKEDR agent and server, and a detection rule set based on MicroIDT and CK framework. Now moving on to the second section, the system design and development. Here on the screen is the system architecture of my solution. My solution serves the 2 main flows. The first flow is the monitoring, the alert monitoring flow. The agents having the activity logs will be sent to the BKEDR Splunk with the help of the universal forwarder. Then these logs will be analyzed by the BKEDR Splunk indexer. Then this log will be passed through another filter called the detection rule set that I mentioned in the first section. This combination will trigger the alerts and the activity logs so that to the monitoring system, so that the security personnel can analyze and monitor on this UI. And moving on to the second flow, we have the incident response flow. Once the security personnel finds out that there is an attack, he will send the response command into the system. The command will be passed through the BKEDR Splunk, which will be forwarded to the BKEDR server, then reach the endpoints. The endpoints having reacted to this command will answer back the response results to the BKEDR server. Then it will log the history, response history on the BKEDR Splunk, so that the security personnel can monitor and manage. Now that I would like to dive deeper into the principle of operation of my solution. As you can see at the center of the schema, we have the BKEDR server. On startup, the BKEDR server will will access all of the configuration files of the server and the agents to retrieve the IP address, the essential 5 paths, and the listening part, and also the logging activity while running. Having the information of the agents, the server will then establish the kind of gRPC connection between the server and the agents. In the case of a new agent, the server will then log the information of the agent and write this into the agent's configuration files. Now that we have the connection between the server and the agents, in the case of an incident, like I mentioned in the previous schema, the BKEDR Splunk will receive the commands from the security personnel, and it will send the command to the BKEDR server. The server then will forward the commands to the agent. The agents, having reacted, then will send back the answer to the server, which will log this file. This file will then be pushed back to the BKEDR Splunk to monitor. Now, in the third section, I would like to introduce the key contributions in my thesis, which is the detection rule set, and that mainly based on the MicroIDT and CK framework. In my rule set, I specialize in excavating the sysmon activity logs due to its outstanding features over the traditional Windows event logs. And all of my rules are developed based on the Mitra ADT&CK matrix for Windows, which is the most popular and utilized framework for cybersecurity in the market at the moment. So here's how I develop my rule set. First of all, I will cover some technique research about some research about the target technique. Then I will simulate the technique in a lab environment. Then the activity in the environment will generate the logs so that we can monitor and analyze them into useful fields of information. Based on the parse logs, I will write the detection rules to point out the indicators and the signature of the abnormalities in the event. In the seventh step, I will recheck the rules in the terms of logic, syntax, and spelling to make sure that my rule can actually work. Then I will push the rule into the testing phase to monitor the alerts generated. In this phase, if the rules and the alerts meet several preset criteria at the beginning, we will push it into the final assessment step to push it into real-life operations. If not, we will return it back to the writing detection rules step. Now on the screen is the sample output rule, one of my rule set. I chose the command line interface. Then each rule will have several essential information that we can see on the slide. The first thing is the trigger conditions. Well, this serves as the indicators of the events that will be used to point out to trigger the abnormalities in the events and trigger the alerts. Then we have the Mitra category and the technique ID, which I use to map directly into the Mitra ADT&CK matrix. Then I have a short technique description to help the security personnel and better understand the context and the content of the rule. I have also the additional information for the alerts research as a kind of enrichment, just in case to better help the personnel and better understand the rules and the alerts also. Now we have a numerous rule set with so many rules that would probably generate a large number of alerts. So how can we do to maintain the quality of the alerts and the system load? So this is the reason why I propose the rule tuning procedure. First of all, we'll do some alert statistic before tuning, and we'll sort the alert based on the rules and the quantities to point out which events and which rules are triggering the most alerts in the system. Then we'll have to confirm these events with the client in the system to make sure that these events have false positive conditions. And these conditions will be added, after being confirmed, will be added to the tuning rules to push back into the operational flow. And right after the optimization flow, there still need the alert statistic after the tuning to make sure that the tuning phase is successful. Now here on the screen is the outcome, the statistic of the rule set I have developed. In this thesis, we have successfully covered the Mitra ADT&CK matrix for Windows, approximately 90% of the techniques, with 102 the techniques are covered with detection rules, and the other 39 were covered with research but not covered with rules for some reasons, like the unclear attacking behaviors that cannot be detected with the signature-based rules. Then, but these behaviors are still valuable in the log analysis in the case of an incident. Now, on the first section, I'd like to propose several outcomes, several results of my thesis. I have implemented my solution in a tested environment with the following, with an environment of the 6 device, the Ubuntu server serves as a centralized monitoring server, and it serves as a BKEDR Splunk and BKEDR server at the same time. I've also simulated an enterprise system, including a domain controller and a domain workstation, to test if my solution actually works in the enterprise environment. Then, based on the implemented environment, I've conducted several experiments, which are the tested and the simulated attacks. The most popular and complicated that we are encountering in the real world of hackers at the moment, which are the passive hacks, RDP tunnel, and the malware attack. On the slide, we see that this is the sample attack map of the passive hack attack. In the row, the hacker have successfully compromised the domain workstation. Then from there, I have successfully dumped the user credential, including the domain administrator. Then I've used this credential to pivot into the domain controller, which means that I've successfully compromised the enterprise system. Then all of the outputs, the alerts, and the events will be displayed on the BKEDR application that I have put on the Splunk platform. And as you can see on the screen is the main page, the monitoring system overview, which provides several generalized information about the system. The BKEDR application also provides the other drill-down dashboard and the key functions like the incident response functions and the search engine feature to help the security personnel in better understanding and analyzing the alerts. Well, in conclusion, my thesis has successfully reached all of these targets preset at the beginning. We have the completed EDR solution with a monitoring application and an incident response component. Combination with a detection rule set that has successfully covered the majority of rules and techniques in the wild. And my solution proves to work, really work in the test, at least in the tested environment, then probably can be applicable in the real world enterprise system. However, there still need, my solutions still need several improvements to actually compete with the existing solution in the market. The first thing to do, I want to do is like to integrate a threat intelligence provider into the solution, which will help enhance the quality of the alerts that relate to the IOCs, if I has the domains, the IP address, etc. And there's still need another feature, the line response functions, to help the security personnel fully operate and control the endpoints without human the administrative support. And another key feature of a modern EDR system is the automated response endpoints, which will help in reacting to known threats without human intervention. Well, that's the end of my presentation. Thanks a lot for your listening.